Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Today we're looking at a paper trending on X, published on January 27, 2026, about 6 days ago. It introduces a new framework called Self-Querying Bidirectional Categorical Planning, or SQ-BCP, which reduces resource violation rates significantly, dropping them to just under 15% on the WikiHow benchmark. The paper is titled Teaching LLMs to Ask, Self-Querying Category Theoretic Planning for Underspecified Reasoning. And as we'll see later, the way this system identifies and resolves missing information is a really promising step for reliable agent planning. Figure 1 illustrates the framework's core bidirectional search process. On the left, the forward search expands from initial states like W0, while on the right, the backward search works in reverse from the goal, W star. The key innovation appears in the center, where the planner encounters an unknown precondition, marked by the small gear icon. To fix this gap, the model can either trigger a self-query to an external oracle, or generate a bridging hypothesis, which inserts a valid intermediate step. While the previous figure outlined the planning architecture, Table 1 presents the quantitative results across the WikiHow and Recipe NLG datasets. Looking at the method column, we see baselines like chain of thought and tree of thoughts. These standard approaches struggle with the resource violation metric, often exceeding 80% error rates. However, the proposed SQ-BCP method drastically reduces violations to 14.9% on WikiHow and 5.8% on Recipe NLG, significantly outperforming the self-ask baseline. While the previous table highlighted success rates, Figure 2 reveals how the model behaves as the task becomes more uncertain. The chart tracks the volume of planning actions against the number of missing preconditions, which ranges from 1 to 4 on the horizontal axis. As the missing information grows, the system scales its response. The blue bars for queries and the orange bars for hypotheses both rise significantly. This confirms that the planner adapts dynamically, expending more effort to resolve ambiguity only when necessary. Well, Figure 2 focused on the search dynamics, but Table 3 asks a different question. Does the choice of base model matter? The table lists performance across several large language models, starting with GPT-4o in the top row. Surprisingly, the framework is highly effective with other models as well. The DeepSeek R1 distilled QN model actually achieves the lowest violation rate on WikiHow at 10.5%. Claude 3.5 also performs exceptionally well, which proves that the categorical planning approach is robust and model agnostic. So, while the previous table compared different base models, Table 2 performs an ablation study to pinpoint where the improvements come from. The first row shows that a standard chain of thought baseline fails frequently, with an 83.2% violation rate on WikiHow. Moving down, the addition of self-ask reduces this significantly to 26%, proving the value of querying. Yet the bottom row reveals that the full SQ-BCP framework is necessary to reach the lowest violation rate of 14.9%, demonstrating that categorical verification is key. Well, while the previous table showed high-level performance metrics, this example from page 13 breaks down exactly how the model represents an individual step. The top line defines a creative action. Use tabletop as car body. Crucially, the pre-section below it explicitly tags the precondition tabletop detachable as unknown. This specific status is the signal that pauses the planner, forcing it to trigger a self-query verification before it commits to the resource changes listed in the EF lines at the bottom. Wrapping up, 2 takeaways stand out. First, explicit precondition tracking is essential for stopping hallucinations in their tracks. Second, by shifting from simple text prediction to active verification, SQ-BCP demonstrates that reliable agents must know when to stop and ask for help. That's it for this episode of the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Thanks for listening.